you're saying is that you're absolutely right that we're all pretty clear on what's happening in the country. Now, where is the priorities and the motivation to actually do something about these fundamental issues that affect us all? Because, problems are just like education, useless, and solutions are just like education, useless unless applied.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
if we know what a problem is, we've analyzed that problem and we've decided and agreed that it is a problem, and then we do absolutely nothing about it, then of course we have to ask the question,
Yeah.
what is the reason why? Because we've all known for the last 25 years that the Cayman Islands should own its utility energy distribution grid, but yet no one has ever done anything about it. And then whenever the bill goes up and we can't afford to pay it, then everybody's willing to complain. And the politicians know very well what the issues are, but for whatever reason, the political mileage that they to get from some of these very important issues doesn't seem to exist. So therefore, they become very neglected.
Another little issue I want to touch on, gentlemen, is people coming to this country, selling this country, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Caymanians have no more place in this lifetime of the balance of this country, whatever is left of it. We have no more place in it because every Tom, Dick, and Harry can come from any part of the world and come in here and sell this country, right? And they can put any price they want on it. There's no regulations or no limit to what they can do or what they can sell for. And for instance, the realtors, right?
Yeah.
This is why Caymanians are in a mess today, that they will never own a piece of property unless you have peace that you can say, you know what, this is being put one side for my kids, right? The markup that the realtors, by the way, tell me how much of these realtors stayed in like the Windsor Park area, around that garden, Eastern Avenue, and the swamp. How many of them living in them areas?
Not one of them.
Exactly. Right. See, look at where they are living, selling this country, and we sitting down doing nothing about it. Huh?
Yeah. Well, that goes.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to highlight that goes back to what you said in the beginning and the onset, right? Is that the politicians know very well that we should limit the persons who can sell real estate in our island to Caymanians only. Period. No one should be on a work permit selling real estate in Cayman. But they fail to do anything about it. They talk about it, they'll agree with you, and they'll say, oh yeah, that's a great idea, and then they'll go back and fall right back into the political line that don't do anything.
Yep. I mean, why you think one of these signs cost with their pictures that is plastered all over them?
$1,500 minimum. $1,500 minimum.
When in the history of when Caymanians was selling Caymanian property and whatever the case would be, they were selling. Have you ever seen their picture on a poster, a for sale poster? No. Because it was needed. Because that is a markup. Again, that's a scam to mark the price up again.
No.
You see, and how many Caymanians you do see on any of these posters? Robert from Bordentown is the only one I see. It's a total disgrace. Something needs to be done, gentlemen.
I agree.
Anyway, that's my 2 cents today afternoon. Have a good evening, gentlemen.
And to you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
One more call, Miss Susan? Mr. Rankin, man, you should be host. Thank you for calling. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And to you, Mr. Brown. How are you today?
Oh, not as good as you, Lord Sterling.
Life is good, sir.
The Honorable Mario D. Rankin.
Afternoon, Craig.
Boy, I want to talk about the future because I know that that's why I look up to you and Mr. Sterling, because you're two brilliant minds.
Thank you.
In the future of business in Cayman, no, because we got obstacles, we got hurdles and everything else. But then again, people still got to be determined to make it somewhere. I was looking through the compass and I has got to rent the places, and something has got to be put there, different types of businesses, and that's just the future. But I don't know. I like to talk about the future events, like in relation to business and stuff like that, because I'm trying to get a bit of advice from you on or at least a couple words in relation to business, future businesses, like that. Well, I do music, I do different things like that, art and stuff. Trying to get a bit of advice on getting somewhere in the arts. I don't know if we probably could make a contribution in that, like, words toward that.
So advice and some guidance as to how you can, get into space and make it a success for you.
Yeah, because with us even as people who sing in Cayman, there's a limited amount of customers. We got a small population. I mean, United States, you got millions and millions of people who buy music, who buy art, who buy, a larger populace, and maybe that's why another reason probably why they want to grow Cayman's population, because it's still volume, more buyers, and all that sort of thing. People who can afford to because I mean, you all the businesses need people. They need the population to get. Yeah. If you see what I mean. So I don't know. That's something I was trying to get.
All right.
A couple words on.
Yeah, man. Well, we can do two things. I can ask Mr. Rankin if he prefers. Just take the break and we can give some thought. And as you're thinking about it, maybe others would be able to weigh in. And you are right. There's some notion to critical mass. The whole idea of economies of scale. But there's much to be talked about. A niche market where you can be more easily identified because the pool is much smaller. But let's give it some thought, and we'll take the other call when we come back. But thank you for that. To our listeners, stay tuned.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
It's game time, Subway fans. We're upping our sub game with the Subway Series menu, an all-star lineup of 6 delicious recipes. Just order by name or number and we'll do the rest. Whether you're catching a quick lunch or just need a tasty victory, the Subway Series menu is coming in clutch. Subway Series, easy to order, hard to resist. Try it today, only at Subway. Eat fresh.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN money transfer card. It cost me less, and props, she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Did you know that there are over 300 public rights-of-ways to the shoreline across the 3 Cayman Islands? Now you can find them easily with the new Shoreline iMap at gov.ky/shoreline.
On Saturday, the 22nd day of June this year at 4 p.m., we're inviting everyone to march for Jesus from the Port Authority at the Creek and Cayman Brac to the Watering Place Gardens. Come out, one and all, stand up and testify for the goodness and mercies of the Lord Jesus Christ. He hath founded us upon the seas. Let it be known far and wide.
For more information, visit christian.ky or call 929-6657.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks to Mario Rankin for sitting with us. Grateful for people being encouraged. I credit you with this. You know, you come in, we chat, more people feel inspired. Miss Susan shares that we have a call. We won't forget the previous comment, but let's take this call. Thank you for holding on, and welcome.
Good afternoon, Sterling.
Afternoon. How are you today?
I'm great. Good afternoon to my cousin and good friend there. My first choice for deputy premier.
Good afternoon.
So who's your second choice?
No, Nikita, you'll never know.
Oh,
good one.
But you notice you said deputy, but we'll leave you for that.
Well, you got to get your foot wet first.
Exactly.
First thing we got to do is get him elected.
Yeah.
So I hear a nomination.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I told him that many times. Picking up on what Peter was talking about, the realtors. I think that is where the Elio Solomon motion should come into effect.
Mm-hmm.
Certain jobs for Caymanians only, like how we can discriminate and say only Caymanians can be the deputy governor. We can also discriminate in this because the Constitution actually allows us to discriminate. So I think certain jobs, because for example, we have people here selling our country and don't even know what they're selling.
Correct.
There's a sign up at just beyond my mother's house on John McLean Drive. We call that Nickel Cliff. I don't know what we're talking about. We say Nickel Cliff. So I just played a game and I called the lady. It was a lady. Pictures on there, and I asked her if she know whether the property floods. She said, "Really, I don't know if that area floods, but I can. If you bear with me, I can pull it up." So we have people here selling things that they don't even know anything about. Have no clue.
Mm-hmm.
The woman told me she would have to pull up an internet and find out if John McLean Drive floods. Can you imagine? That's what we have here in the Cayman Islands. And like Peter say, we allow it, and we allow them to get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
There should be no work permit issue for people to come here and sell out the Cayman Islands. And another thing, and I want Mario to kind of investigate this, understand that what they're doing, they're forming these ghost companies, and they are buying the property and turn around and selling it, and they are making the profits. So that's another, because as far as I know, realtors cannot just go and buy properties. So what they're doing, they're forming these ghost companies and purchasing the properties, and then they turn around and flip it and sell it. So we need that is anonymously in the house that's sitting there on the shelf need to be implemented.
Right. Well, we know just from the discussion yesterday with Mr. Bush, he's bringing the motion seconded by Mr. Saunders about businesses for Caymanians only, and then you reminded us that Mr. Solomon, when he was there, brought a similar motion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we need to extend the areas in which should be exclusive for Caymanians, and real estate need to be on top of that list along with the tour operating and tour businesses, because if we look at the only two pillars we have in our society, in our economy, tourism and financial service industry, and not everybody's going to be able to work in the financial service industry, plain and straight. So, and we haven't really taught Caymanian children from in the school, because if someone had told me when I was leaving high school the last 2 years that I didn't need a degree to be a wealthy person by selling real estate, I might have went into real estate directly out of high school. But no one ever told me anything like that. There was no comprehensive training or awareness to tell me about tour operating, hospitality, or real estate. But here we are allowing people to come to Cayman, take these glossy photos, put up on a billboard that say, "Oh, I'm new and I'm part of the team." I won't call any names of the real estate companies for obvious reasons, but they're out there and we know who they are. And every single week we see a brand new face saying that they're part of the new team to sell real estate in the Cayman Islands. And I'm 100% sure they're not status holders or permanent residences with the right to work. They're all work permit holders. And we need to put a stop to it, and we need to do it now. We got to stop this dancing around the fundamental issues that are affecting us and holding the solutions in our top pocket and refuse to apply them. And this is half the problem we have in Cayman now, is that we got weak, blind, spineless politicians who are already paid off to keep the system the way it is, because those who benefiting from the system the way it is are those who are paying for it to remain the way it is. That's a fact.
Yep. Well, like you say, who pays the piper, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And Mario, I experienced something similar. Person who's here on what they call nanny,
mm-hmm.
and she's out of Thailand, right? A nice-looking lady, and she told me that she was told by one of the realtors, ownership, I guess, that she should come and sell
mm-hmm.
real estate for him. And when she said that she didn't have any experience, he said, "Yeah, but you're beautiful." So
that's what sells. That's it. That's a selling point.
Yeah. So, like you say, coming out of high school, all of us could have sell a piece of land on John McLean Drive. All I got to do is take you up there and drive you around and show it to you. And you decide there and then whether you want to buy it or not.
But you know, Graham, I will say this, right? And forgive me if I called your name, you didn't want your name called.
No, but you should put handle to it.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
I understand the caller before me kind of my title by calling Dwayne Lord.
All right.
Dwayne or something like that.
I'm
here to say right now.
My apologies.
You can take Alden title. You can say sir. You can take with a sir, but you're not getting the Lord.
My apologies, sir. Yeah. Sir Graham Rankin.
Lord.
I say I don't want Alden title. Lord Graham.
All right, Lord Graham.
I don't want to get nothing with Alden.
All right, good.
Yes, Sir Alden.
The issue, Lord Graham, that faces us is that we know what the issues are. We've talked about the issues. We have even agreed to apply some solutions to deal with the issues. But yet, when these things are ready to come to the forefront, we find out that we have more cowards than anything else, and they never get done. And with the real estate, I've had a gentleman tell me, and mine, this man came here as a security guard in the beginning. I won't say for who, and I remember working at the airport, at General Airport, when I worked in immigration, and I used to see him coming in on the plane with the gentleman as one of the security details, security officer, Now the man have 5 properties in Cayman, and probably more by now. This was 3 years ago, and he rents them out. And when I went to look at an apartment that he had for rent off the West Bay Road, and I just did it out of research and exercise. I wanted to see what it was and what he was going to tell me. You know what the man looked at me and told me? He said, "Oh, you're Mario Rankin. You're the guy that has the podcast that says that selling real estate, that you don't need a degree to sell real estate, and that it's as easy as selling a car." And I said to him, well, let me ask you a question. When you sell a piece of property, don't you have to transfer title of ownership to that person that is purchasing? I said, well, it's the same thing with a vehicle. I said, secondly, what experience do you need to accept payment from someone who's willing to pay you for the value of what you've put your property up for sale? I said, you don't need a college degree, you don't need a PhD. And I said, Sariba has a test that they make you take to become a certified member of Sariba. Thank God that's gone away. And that's a 2-tier test. So if you don't pass that test under their laws, under their bylaws, you can't be an agent. But I want to know who made them the president in charge of regulating real estate in the Cayman Islands, right? Sariba is a direct cartel because they control who comes and goes. And that's half of the reason why we are shackled to this idea that a person can come from abroad. And just like how Graham just mentioned, the man suggested to the lady she should sell real estate, and she admitted that she had no experience. Oh, but you got pretty face, and that's what sells, is basically what he's told her. But yet, we don't have no training program, no awareness programs in our schools. And if you look at some of the most wealthiest people in the second tier of wealth in Cayman, they're all real estate brokers and real estate agents. But yet, we don't secure that industry for Caymanians, and we don't do anything to train them to take these jobs. Come on, we can do better than this.
Yeah,
so the test is just to qualify you to join the cartel.
Yes, absolutely.
Be accepted into the cartel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And for those who listen, I mean, using our word may be inflammatory, but we had a court case in 2013 thereabouts that the sitting judge used that phrase in reference to Sariba, calling it a cartel.
Well, if you look up the definition of cartel, you know, it'll explain exactly what we're saying here.
Yeah. So I mean, it may be for some offensive, but the recognition of the practice. You know, OPEC was called an oil cartel, right? Yeah. We see a similar case in the U.S. now with their real estate, brokers association. All right, as we take the break, anything else, sir?
Lord Graham.
Yeah. Talk to you soon. Next week, Friday, tomorrow.
All right, cool. Well, let's pause, take that quick break. And Mario, thank you for your time. I'm looking forward to more conversation. Stay tuned.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins. The Cayman Islands Seafarers Association regrets to inform all members that their Family Fair Day event scheduled for Saturday, June 22nd at Pedro Park has been cancelled due to the weather. Listen for further updates on the other event scheduled for Saturday, 29th June at the Seafarers Hall. In international news, people placed under restraining orders for suspected domestic violence do not have a right to own guns, the Supreme Court has ruled. The 8-1 decision upholds a 30-year-old law that bars those with restraining orders for domestic abuse from owning firearms. A lower court had struck down that federal statute as not consistent with the nation's historical tradition of firearm regulation. Friday's ruling marks a rare victory for firearms restrictions in the top court. Vladimir Putin has warned South Korea it would be making a big mistake if it arms Ukraine in the war against Russia. His comments come after Seoul said it was considering such a possibility in response to Russia and North Korea's new pact to help each other in the event of aggression against either country. The Russian leader was speaking in Vietnam shortly after a lavish visit to Pyongyang, where he signed a mutual defense agreement with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
At Kirk Market, it's so easy to eat well and find healthy options. With their fresh veggies from local farmers, hormone-free chicken, local seafood, and grass-fed meats, Kirk Market has delicious, quality food at the best prices. And you must check out their fresh salad bar, hot bar, and med bar for daily healthy options on the go. Their delicious dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients such as prime meats and organic veggies. Eating great is important to me. That's why Kirk Market is my store. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and shop happy.
When you have a sports or fitness-related injury, trust the expertise of the HSA's Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic to get you back in the game. Our internationally trained and certified physicians specialize in sports traumatology, sports medicine, pain management, and orthopedic surgery. For treatment of common injuries such as tendonitis, arthritis, tennis elbow, rotator cuff, or knee tears, schedule a consultation with the Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic at Smith Road Medical Center by calling 949-8600 or visit hsa.ky for more information.
Born in Watering Place, Cayman-Brac, on the 8th day of July, 1936. Captain Fred Elman Scott was the 5th child born to Nalio and Vera Scott. Captain Scott worked the seas for over 52 years, a career which saw him span the global currents. In 1953, he joined his first ship, the Beretta, a local cargo vessel, signing on as deck boy, working his way up to boatswain. In 1955, he joined National Bulk Carriers, working his way up to able-bodied seaman. In 1959, he signed on the Ore Meteor to go to Marine School in New York, attaining a third mate's license. He joined the Bulk Petrel as third officer, where during one voyage he was solely responsible for using Morse lamp signaling to save a sister ship which had run aground. He continued to flourish and attained second mate, chief mate, master mariner, and radio operator licenses. In October of 1969, he took a job on oil exploration ships as a captain in Brazil. Captain Scott would later move from Brazil, where he spent the next 20 years piloting cruise ships and tankers in Grand Cayman.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At Valley Med Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit Valley Med Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with Valley Med Pharmacy.
Cybercrime happens online or through the technology we use every day. Anyone can be a victim of cybercrime, whether you are a young person being bullied or harassed online, or an older person or business who's been scammed out of money or personal data. Cybercrime is an issue that touches all of us. The Cayman Islands government has therefore created an online resource to help keep you cyber safe in an ever-changing world.
In online situations, it is better to be cyber safe than sorry. Learn now to protect yourself against cybercrime. Visit gov.ky/cybersafe.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks very much for joining us, and thanks to Mario Rankin for, whenever we reach out, your schedule allows, you come and you share, and through you, we encourage a discussion. So before we take more calls, your thoughts, my friend?
Well, I'm like I said, I'm always grateful for having the opportunity to come on Radio Cayman and have open conversation about some of the topical issues, obviously. I just want to, as we earlier, when we were talking about cartel and Floriba and whatnot, and you had mentioned that there was a court case, I just want to clarify for anyone who don't really understand clearly what the word cartel means. And it means a group of similar independent companies or countries who join together to control prices and limit competition. That is the definition of cartel. So when people hear that word, it may sound derogatory, but if you knew the actual meanings of it, then you would understand why we use those terms in certain paragraphs in which we choose to write or say verbally or public or whatever. But I just wanted to make sure that we're not taking any derogatory shots at anybody. We're just calling a spade, because that's what it is.
But thank you for taking that extra effort and again referencing that, if our courts in its judgment uses terminology, and unless until the challenge and overturn an appeal, then I guess we can use that as a precedent.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just think that we need to stop hiding behind the realities that we face in Cayman, because some people feel as if it's better left unsaid because it doesn't create the necessary perception of Cayman that they think we'll get from it. But I just think that if we agree that we have a struggling class of people in Cayman, then we have to also agree that the system is failing. Because if we didn't have a failing system, you would have people who are able to sustain throughout their lives in the Cayman Islands, and we don't see that now. We know that there's a lot of gaps, and a lot of the young people are talking about home ownership and land ownership and all these different things. And when we start looking into all of the things that surround the possibility of a young person, or any person for that matter, being able to afford to buy property or own a home in Cayman, it is becoming one of those waning things where we feel like, oh man, I don't think if we don't get it now, we'll never get it. And when we take a closer look and start peeling away some of the layers, we start to find some of the real issues that we are facing as to why the situation is the way it is. And it's because we're not willing to man up and own up and take responsibility for some of the poor policies or lack thereof that is creating this battlefield ground of survival in the Cayman Islands. And I hate to use that term, but that's the only thing that I can think of when someone call my phone or text me or send a message on one of my podcast sites or knock on my door and say, hey, sorry to bother you, but, if you got $25, you can lend me to buy food for me and my son. And I know that this person been working longer than I've been out of school. I feel it for not only that person, I feel it for all individuals who are, who have found themselves in this position. And it's not because they lazy and don't want to work. It's because the cost of living has not only outpaced them, but have gone so far down that road that they can't ever really back it.
They can never catch up, huh?
So it's a rough situation, but yet we choose to spend $12.3 million to pay an overseas company to develop a global brand, a luxury brand for the Cayman Islands. I mean, which Caymanian person sat around a table and decided that at this particular point, this is what we should be doing with our public purse?
$12.3 million.
$12.3 million. And just last night, somebody sent me a link of a party they're having in New York City. And when I look, I see the chief Department of Tourism person up inside. I'm not calling any names, but I see him in there. And I'm saying to myself, I mean, come on, man, where are our priorities? If our people not our priority, then boy, we definitely got this thing wrong. And what I don't understand is that what brand are they referring to? What is it that they're going to develop for Cayman? What global brand are they going to develop for Cayman? Who going to be on these commercials and these marketing tickets and these marketing flyers? And who face is going to be on that? Is going to be somebody walking through a brand new development, 10 stories, saying, oh, here's the Cayman Islands, come and live and dine and work and play. That's what they're going to be, because we know that's how Commander Bay started. Come live, dine, work and play.
Mm-hmm.
But now the average Caymanian only can drive through and window shop. That's the only thing we can do down there. So anyway, we got to stop acting like the realities that we are living in and facing aren't the things that are fundamentally affecting us, because they are.
Yeah. A couple of things I want to maybe ask on that, but I'm told we have another call. Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sterling, and good afternoon, Mr. Mario.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
How are you?
Okay, thankful for the rain. I'm so sorry for the people that, got water in their homes and apartments and things like that. I feel sorry for them, but we were praying for the rain, and then we shouldn't rebel about it. That we're now getting it, and there's more to come, I'm much afraid. Anyway, I agree some of the things that Mr. Mario said just now, especially. but I want to know, or do any of you know, if we have enough, people in Cayman that can do tour operation and things like that, rather than having people that giving you the wrong, come here last week or week before last, driving a bus and giving you the wrong information about Cayman, don't know where to find restaurants. I may have said this on a radio some time ago, or maybe repeated myself twice or so. That's what happens when you get up there in age sometime. and they stopped and asked me about on the Turtle Farm Road where I live, where is, the word was Macabuca Restaurant. Believe me, it was something similar, not that at all, not that word at all. And I said, oh, Macabuca, just go down the road. It's on the seaside. You shouldn't miss it. He drove off and didn't even say thanks. No, do we need people like that? And yet the bus was full of people trying to get to that restaurant, tourists trying to get to that restaurant. Why don't we come up with a solution? When I say we, is no good most of the time of us, the people, the voting public out here, to come up with a solution when our politicians don't listen to us. Look, they can be on the radio like they are now, like yesterday, telling the same old rigmarole that I've heard it over and over. Only one thing was new, of them talking about something that they could bring up to the house or has brought up to the house, about investors, and they buying things or buying land, and then 5% on top of that goes back to the government, so government can buy land for the Caymanians to buy land at a less cost, or maybe I'm not saying that right, but honestly, how did the investors buy the land if a Caymanian or some other person or some other investor didn't sell it to them?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And then another thing. Sorry, Dwayne.
No, sorry. I just was going to clarify, but go ahead. You go ahead, please. Yes.
We're talking about real estate. Okay, should be only for Caymanians, not that the Johnny come lately. Like I said, came 2 weeks ago, and they're selling Cayman, and they don't know the roads, the names of the roads. They got stop marks, people, and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But that same politician, don't he have a real estate? But at least he's a Caymanian. But don't he have a real estate company? What was he doing? He not selling out Cayman too? Let's think again. We seem to forget about these things when it coming near to election. So a turkey or something else can be passed out, but a turkey or ham or anything else can't feed you for the whole year, or can't feed that family. I personally, Shirlene personally, is just tired of hearing the bull crap that they're talking about, because it's a repeat of the same thing over, because we makes the mistake and put the same people back into politics to run our country and to tell us what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I expect, I don't know who else, I've heard other people say so too, but I am willing to say this on the radio. I expect to hear from them at least every 3 months or whenever they have meeting. What is planned for Cayman? What is planned for our children, grandchildren, including theirs? But theirs are okay. Theirs are okay. Believe me, theirs are okay. Some of them even build houses for them.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on in this island? Because we, the people, have a right to know. We put them there so they can get a big paycheck every month. Some of them make some people, poor people do make a year, and they have to work 9, 10, up to 12, 14 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I just tired of hearing it. And Dwayne, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes when they're on the radio and they just get on the radio for the first time in a long, long time, they'll be on the radio now because just around the corner is election.
Mm-hmm.
I turn it on. I turn it off. I don't want to hear the same old detail going on and on and on and on. It's like a broken record.
Mm-hmm.
I could go on, but
yes, ma'am.
I my husband Peter is getting kind of impatient about going out.
But you go enjoy yourselves. Be safe, all right?
Going Georgetown. So,
Good
anyway, good afternoon to both of you.
Yes, ma'am.
And thanks very much for listening to me.
Thank you for calling. And I think, right, as I listen to the caller, Mario, the idea that, yes, the politician needs to be held accountable, but implicitly she's sharing that as voters, we need to be engaged, involved, informed, and prepared to stand in the gap too.
Yeah, I just want to address the first thing she started out saying in regards to, do we have enough Caymanians to fulfill the tour operating business?
Mm-hmm.
I think where we've failed is that we didn't create any comprehensive training or awareness programs from in the school, from middle school all the way up. And once we implement something like that, it will teach the kids the importance and the financial side of it, right?
Yeah.
And it could be a future potential career for them. Mm-hmm. But clearly, we've not done that. So when they come out into the workforce, and for those kids who don't get tertiary education and degrees and all these different things, they go straight into the workforce, and then they bounce around from job to job until they can find where they're comfortable or where they can stay. You know, they're not aware of how important and lucrative these industries are, that you don't need a college degree or you don't need anything, that you just need a little bit of ambition and a little foresight and motivation is all you really need to apply yourself.
Yeah. But what if, whether it's tour operators, water sports or land, whether it's mechanics for any of those, sectors, what if we, through education, through our parents and homes and the community, telling these children that these things are not as lucrative? We are disparaging in our approach to those children taking up those careers.
Well, how can we boast that we have two pillars of our economy? No, let's take this for a second.
Yeah.
How can we proudly get up and say, oh, we got two major pillars of our economy, tourism and financial sector, but yet nowhere in the curriculum in the school teaches or train or prepare children for those industries specifically?
And what's potentially maybe more egregious is if when we enter those sectors, right, we're shown that, there's no career,
Well, because it's exaggerated with foreign people who have come here, established themselves, got the proper immigration status, and now they are a lifelong competitor. So at the end of the day, until we write proper strategic policy that enshrines the Caymanian people as a part of it, then we're going to always be fighting this battle.
I know we have your company until 2 p.m. Before we take this next call, let me read what one of our listeners shared. This person writes, just by doing away with work permits completely, or putting a moratorium on them, we will eliminate their 90% of troubles on the island. You what's your view on that?
I don't disagree, and obviously I have a separate argument in regards, but but I totally understand what they're saying, and like for instance, if we didn't give the, and I gotta just use the term, right? If we didn't give the cheap labor permit holders an opportunity to get a driver's license, we wouldn't have any traffic problem. Zero traffic problem. You remember the other day when we had that big rain? That it was 2 Mondays ago, and we had all the flooding, and a lot of the places closed down around 2 p.m. That day, there was absolutely zero traffic going east at the 5 o'clock hour. Why? Because 60% of the people went home and worked from home. So there was no traffic jam going up in the evening, because I went down and I was coming back. I was like, wait, this is pretty open for 4:45, 5 o'clock hour on a rainy day. That right there was an example of what sort of strategies we can put in place to mitigate traffic, right? You can't mitigate traffic by building roads. You can help, but you can't mitigate it. But you can mitigate traffic by scheduling certain things to operation in certain hours. It's a known fact, but no one is brave enough to do it.
Something you just shared, maybe we'll have that courage to do something. Let's take this next call.
Yes, of course.
Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hello?
Hi. How are you?
Just fine. How you all doing?
Well,
giving thanks.
Indeed.
Yeah, definitely. When you got Mario ranking on there, you need to get a little bit more, couple hours more on there, because the island is crying to hear somebody with some positiveness and trying to fight for a country that nobody wants him in politics, because he knows too much. And he will probably get things done for we little poor people, and little black people. We put it that way.
That is true.
I'm proud to be black. But Mario, this last week it hit me that we are here as voters on this island, and there's a lot of promises to all of us that is a bunch of dodos listen and believe what they come out and tell us. And they got, when they get in, or they don't say if, it's when they get in, what I'm going to do for you. So, Mario, I can't see them doing anything in this new election for us, because then we are putting them in to do for the other high-polluted people, not the few Caymanians that is left. And I'm sick and tired of matching Cayman, as small as we are, with other countries saying, well, China this and China that, America this and America that. Hey, we only get our supplies from America. We put our own rules and regulations, and then part of England, they got us in a corner. They don't give a rat's about us. But anyhow, we still there. And Mario, I want to ask you a question, and I hope you can answer it. What you think about it?
I'll do my best, man.
Mario, what can a new government or the same government that may get back in next year, what can they come out here and do for us that everything is already messed up? And when I say messed up, we can't go enter into the beach properly. We got to go 2 track roads. If anyone down there is half dying, by the time we get down there, the person is dead. Where's the fire truck going to park? Where the ambulance going to park? All these condos got all these spikes down in the road down there. That is government road. They got them on, and everyone should be picked up and throw back in those condo yards. And that would be a pleasure to go and help line them off in the condo yards. And I don't think there's any sin to that. But anyhow, I just can't understand. I can't see any election next year going to tell us this is what we're going to do for the Caymanians. We are already shortchanged in everything, from property, or from buying a piece of property, or from trying to buy a home, or trying to have a job that we can say that we can go to every day without getting a phone call or email saying that we no longer need you. I know nothing in life is guaranteed. But, Mario, we have no way to go to few Caymanians who's left here. But these people that is here, they got some way to go. Even if they leave a big building here, they'll lock it up and they'll go about their business and they're not losing anything because they ain't paying no taxes on the big old hotels and condos and whatever else they may have here. I am not stating that we may not have to have some sort of little small investment here, but not what we are facing right now. I think it's gone overboard, and no government can tell me that we got those homes that Mr. Ebanks is building. They are guaranteed a home. Nobody is telling us what the criteria is to get these homes. Can the people make the payment? Are they entitled to get a home if they don't have the income coming in? Are they going to give them a proper loan that they can manage every month? Say, for example, right? You're paying $1,000 a month for a rental, a one-bedroom rental, right? And you want a home, and these government homes is available. And $1,000, our payment's going to be on $1,500 a month or $1,250 a month. Now you're paying $1,000 for rent and you can't own that place. You want to tell me that Cayman can't get an opportunity to go in there and pay that $1,000, if it's even rent to own or it's a mortgage or whatever? Are they going to these commercial banks to get money? So make these people go to these commercial banks to get a loan to go into these government homes? That's a question I'm trying to ask. And also, like I said, what can a government come now and tell us that they can do for us after we vote them in all of these years and they took us and sell us out? It's nothing there for us that don't have anything, Mario. My grandchildren that is still so young, and my children is still young, and many more, where are they going to go? Are they going to be out here kicking stones and a white man come and beat them with a stick and take them down by their condo to sweep their yard or clean their windows? I would love to live forever to see how Cayman would be in the next 100 years, but I know that's not going to be possible. But, I know when I go on, I'm going to be at ease in my going home.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying for my country, and it's not that I didn't try. I don't want nothing out here that's not mine. And people who deserve to have something should have the privilege to have something in their own country. And don't tell me that Eric Caymanian, the smallest Cayman, can't own a home in Cayman. Come on, that is bull. That is bull. All right, Sterling, you tired of me now?
No,
Bye.
never get tired of it. Thank you. All right, take care. Huh?
All right, good.
I suspect that you have a break, but what I will say is this, because she said a lot in the beginning, and I was trying to remember everything so I could at least try to answer one or two questions. But what I will say to Ms. Jan is this, is that there is a very overarching question of who we're developing for, right? And when we see things like $12.3 million being spent to create a luxury global brand of Cayman, then it begs you to ask the question: well, are we creating this global brand, this global luxury brand, to attract people to purchase the luxury development that is now predominantly taking over our development scene? One can have that argument, and there's a base for that argument, right? But then, as far as what the government can do in the next election if nothing changes, there are many things that we can do, because I personally don't think that because of our population and the small number that it is, because we don't have millions of people, we don't have hundreds of thousands of people. We got thousands of people here, and out of that thousands of people, you got a small minority who are called Caymanian, right? So, to her point, absolutely, every Caymanian should have the right, or the ability, I should say, not the right, because the right is already given, right? But everybody in Cayman should have the ability to own a home in the Cayman Islands. But if we're going to succumb to the fact that we should build low-income homes so that we can place our Caymanians, as opposed to saying, look, I want to create an environment and industries where Caymanians can generate their own personal wealth, that they have the ability to go out and purchase their own home within their price range and their comfort zone, as opposed to us building all of these cities of housing schemes and then turning around and subsidizing banks and giving loans and I don't disagree with helping people who need that help, but I also say, coupled with doing that, we need to fix the industries, the hospitality industry, the tour operating industry, the financial service industry, the real estate industry. All of these things play a very critical role on how we generate wealth for our local people. Because if we keep saying that we're going to generate GDP in order to build low income homes so Caymanians can have access, what do you think generates that GDP? Work permit holders, the fees, driver's licensing, all of the things that are deteriorating our sustainability and our quality of life are the things that we rely on for generation of GDP. And then we want to take now and allocate money to build low-income homes and have them fully financed so that we can put people in an impossible situation. And we haven't really done anything to fix the system and fix the problem, because, if we were to take and distribute like other sovereign countries like Singapore and Dubai and distribute the resources that we generate our GDP from to our people and create legislation that ensure the participation on the highest level of our people. Now, granted, we don't have enough living bodies to take every job in Cayman. We all know that. We're going to need work permit holders. We're going to need a subsidiary of labor. But you telling me that we got more people on work permit than we have in population of Caymanians? That is fundamentally wrong. There's something seriously wrong with that picture. You got 38,000 work permits and you got 18,000 Caymanians. And then out of those 18,000 Caymanians, 30-40% of them unemployed. And then when we look at the industries that generate the small fortunes or wealth or whatever you want to call it, Caymanians are ostracized and gated out simply because they weren't prepared, they haven't been trained, they haven't been given opportunity to get that education and get that necessary skill set in order to participate. And then what adds insult to injury, that we have no legislation that secures it from, that says, okay, if you choose to get into this industry, at least only Caymanians can. Because when I say Caymanians in a tour operating position, I'm talking about tour operating, owning position. So that if there's a situation where they employ people and they need to get a work permit, then fine. But the lion's share and the meaningful share of that revenue goes to the Caymanian. And we're not prepared to prioritize our people based on legislation and movements that I see happening now. Because, again, we look at the conservation bill, which I would love to talk to just very briefly before we go. But after the break.
After the break? Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
You're one of the few that have seen and want to. All right. Ms. Susan, thank you. The conservation bill will be the conversation after. Thanks.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Summer's heating up, and so are the good times. Whether you are out on the water, enjoying the beach, or gathering with colleagues for an office bash, make it a feast to remember with Subway. From assorted sandwich platters to mouth-watering cookies, our catering menu has something for everyone. Perfect for groups of 5 or more. For food that's fresh, fast, and perfect for any occasion, choose Subway Catering. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet. Because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Are you ready to step into the future? Digicell's super-fast 5G network is here. Experience more lightning-fast speeds, more seamless connectivity, and more possibilities available with all Digicell bundles. Whether you're streaming, gaming, or working, our 5G technology takes your experience to a whole new level. The future is here. Visit any of our stores today and join Cayman's super-fast 5G network. Digicell. Better connected.
Cayman, mark your calendars for the high-speed thrills of the third round of the 2024 C1 National Tour. Sunday, June 30th at South Sound Dock. Current division leaders Nathan McLean, Joshua Watler, Hayden Green, and Brian Dixon look to defend their top positions on the open waters. But the rest of the pack is on the attack. Gather the family and enjoy a fun-filled day of thrilling races, delicious food, and cool treats. Admission is free. Be there to catch all the action live with the Cayman Islands Watercraft Association. Round 3 of the 2024 C1 National Tour. Sunday, June 30th at South Sound Dock, starting at 11 a.m. Proudly sponsored by Car City, Cayman Islands Coast Guard, Cayman Islands Fire Service, Pepsi, Fast Signs, J&M Equipment, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage, Party Animals, Sea Breeze Charters and Jet Ski Rentals, Verdant Isle Farm, Health City, Cayman Islands, National Logistics, Onshore IT, Ministry of Tourism and Ports, Radio Cayman, and Breeze FM.
For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. is brought to you by Cayman Medical Center, Cayman's most awarded private medical clinic, located in the heart of Georgetown. Visit their website at medical.ky or call 623-1000.
Start your day in the know. Don't miss a beat. Radio Cayman's 7 a.m. news keeps you informed every Monday through Saturday at 7 a.m. Brought to you by Cayman National, proudly serving the Cayman Islands since 1974.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining us, and thanks to Mario Rankin. I'm glad you referenced, you want to talk about that proposed amendments. I know we got a couple of other calls, but your call, my friend, your time is, you want to take the calls? And
yeah, let's take the calls, man. This is a talk show, right?
You are, very, very, very gracious. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
And to you, sir. How are you?
Dwayne, sorry, I met Sterling.
It's only you, Cletus is only...
This is Cletus. Mario, good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon, sir.
Okay, I want to say a couple of things, but I know your time is running out and there are other callers behind me. So, first, we are holding a public meeting this coming Monday night, 7 till 9, at the Westbury Church of God Chapel on Town Hall Road from 7 till 9. That's Monday the 24th, with the sole purpose of soliciting input on the proposed amendments to the planning statement. Because at the meeting in West Bay on the 4th of June, a lot of people said they want some more time, and I'm trying to facilitate that as best as I can.
Mm-hmm. So this coming Monday, 7 to 9,
Right.
Chapel Church. Okay.
Right. The public is welcome. I don't care whether you're from East End or North Side, Bottom Town. Again, the hall can only hold so many, but it's open to the public.
Okay.
Okay. Mario had a lot to say a little earlier, and I would like to comment on some of that. But one thing, with having a quote-unquote real estate government, what else do you expect? He's going to be talking about the National Conservation Act shortly, so let's make one comment on that. A lot of people are saying we need to quote-unquote gut it and this and that or amend it because it's slowing on development. Development and conserving the environment are not mutually exclusive. And for those of us who are not so familiar with that, statistical term, that means that two things cannot happen at the same time. I am saying that development can happen, and you can also conserve the environment. Someone made a mention, I think yesterday, or could have been this morning, I'm not quite sure, saying that government should be excluded from that requirement. That's BS. I mean, if government puts a road here or a building here, that's going to have the same impact as it was done by somebody else. So government needs to be held to the same standard as the rest of us. Education, all we're concerned about is getting X amount through the door around this time of the year every year, and numbers go up. We have we all know that this quote unquote luxury brand, who that's for. I mean, that's quite obvious. But I'm not going to give that entity any more publicity than they can generate for themselves. So, but we know who that's for. And we just fail to say, look, here is where we want to be in the next 25, 30, 50 years. And until we start taking that long-term approach, we will always, every day, every year, keep having these same arguments. But none of the politicians, except those that were there up in 1975, ever since that, it's been basically a real estate government. On that, sir, I will hang up and give the time to Mario and the other callers.
Thank you. So we'll remind people this Monday, 7 p.m. So hopefully a public invitation for people to look at the planning statement. Thanks very much, sir.
Yeah, and we'll be every Monday night at the same location. Since Monday, the 1st of July is a holiday, so it'll be the 24th of June, the 8th of July, the 15th of July, and the 22nd of July, which then gives us roughly a week then to collate all the information and submit the report to the CPA.
Okay. Thanks very much. All right.
My pleasure. You all have a good weekend.
And to you.
You too, man.
And to you. All right. I know, Mario, you're going to go. Was there another one, Miss Susan?
Yeah, let's take the call.
All right. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mario. Good afternoon, Dwayne.
Afternoon.
How are you? All right. Thanks for calling.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you for calling.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I had a feedback. I want to tell Mario I appreciate him very much and what he's doing. Tell him congratulations. Keep it up.
Thank you.
If you give up, you lost. But this morning, I don't know if you heard the OC talk show.
No,
I want to make sure I'm understanding what I heard. It had given me such a joy that I was so glad to hear it. Can you tell me anything that there's in the confirmation that they're changing the election instead of May of next year? They're planning. There's something in the process of flipping it till November of this year. It can't be November of next year. I don't want to make sure I misunderstood what was he say, because he said something about this morning that there's something in the pipeline about moving the election from May of next year to November of this year. I don't know if anybody can check into it to confirm, because I had felt so happy because I don't know what we're going to do. And we'd like you, Mario, if you can give us some update on the Conservation Act, because a lot of us do not understand the law, and we would be greatly appreciated. And the meeting that they have, we were supposed to be doing one we say we're doing it with Slay Field, but we will all go to the one that's that played us is how we want to thank him. We'll all come to that. We're glad that we don't need 2 or 3 meetings out of it. Because we didn't know they had one on, so we were trying to get one sorted out because we need clarification from the whole 19 elected officials to tell us what is hidden, that they're not coming out and tell us, because they're saying that it's not only a bill, but they're not telling us what it is that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
All right. Hey, thanks very much,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would just like to say this before time runs out. Clearly, I just want to state for the record, I'm not a conservation expert, and I don't pretend to be. I just read the document, both sides of the story, and the last caller before the lady, he mentioned, some key things that I would like to, at least touch on just briefly.
Yes, please.
I know that we need to get to a point, Sterling, where we stop saying the government and the people, because the government and the people is one and the same. And until we can start recognizing and embracing that fact, even though we have to hold government accountable and we have to make sure and help them steer the ship, there are some decisions that government need to make, right? That don't necessarily need public consultation, but public awareness. And every time that we say, oh well, the people and the government, and we term it as they're separate, when people and the government is one and the same. So whatever the government do, they should be doing in the best interest of the people in the islands and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And when we look at the other aspects of what's taking place with the conservation, when the platform that published the article about the sitting government wants to gut the conservation bill, etc., it really, really, really left a bad taste in everybody who read that, including those who supports the amendments and even those who don't. And what I've noticed with this particular debate and this particular argument is that you have one extremist on one side and another extremist on the other side trying to get the public to understand it. Whereas we're not able to hear a balanced approach on this, because we're hearing the people who supports the bill only saying that this is how we have to stay. No one disagrees with the purpose of that NCC bill. Not one single soul would disagree with it. However, we have to look at how it's managed and how it's enforced and who's enforcing it. And if you look in some of the recommended, and again, you got to lay this at the feet of the government for not putting out the information prior to, so people could have a better understanding as what the amendments are and the impacts that they will have. I don't, in my opinion, again, this is my opinion based on what I've read and what I've seen, I think that the amendments in which are being proposed is to have a better governance of the NCC bill. We have in there where one person have the ultimate reserve power to dictate whether something could be approved or not from a development standpoint. And I'm not even talking about major development. I'm talking about any development. There's a case that went to the planning board for approval for a house to go on a canal lot, which sits in between two already existing houses in a subdivision that was refused. So when you have these situations that are manifesting within this particular entity, we have to be very careful. So it needs to be properly managed, and it needs to have a fair, unbiased balance, so that way we know that we're getting the best possible product at the end. And then as far as the EIA reports go, of course, any major development would have to do an EIA. Anybody would agree that we need an environment assessment report. I would agree with that. I'm sure the government would agree with it. But when you have a person saying, oh, well, you can only use this company for an EIA report, I have a problem with that. Because if we keep these reserve powers for this one person, what happens if we get the wrong person in that job? What happens? Because, luckily we don't have someone who is some barbarian tirade that's just going off the rails. But what happens when that person retires and the next person that take the reins and they have this supreme power over whether you can develop your land or not, or where you can develop or where you can't? And what if they decide to do something that they wanted to do and it can't be questioned? Then we have a problem. So as opposed to getting to a reactive situation, why don't we proactively get together? And in this article in the Cayman Times, I don't know the gentleman's names. I wouldn't mention his name anyway. As a response, when there's not one single thing in this big article he wrote as a response that addressed the issues and the amendments in which the government is proposing. He never addressed any of them. He never addressed any solutions. He just kept saying is that if we accept the amendments, these are the things that are in jeopardy, right? All of the things that he listed that are in jeopardy, we all support and agree that they should be maintained. But we want to make sure that we manage this bill properly, and that is not something where a person can take a biased position and you can't question it. And that, I think, is what the core of the issue is with the bill, in my personal opinion, based on what I read. And for that news platform that premeditatedly wrote a headline to get people disrupted and uneasy and against it, it was very wrong. And I get that media does this for readership and viewership and all that, and it happens all the time. But we need to draw the line sometimes where they're allowed to do these things. And quite honestly, if you look at the situation as it sits, and let's just say your father left you 100 acres of land, not even 100 acres, let's just go to 10 acres, right? And you decided that you want to build a house on one of those acres and develop the other 9 acres so that you can have some sort of financial security for you and your family and something that you can hand down generationally. And then this one person decides, oh, well, I don't like Sterling, but and I reserve this power. No, you can only build on a house lot, and the rest of it is protected. What do you do then? Because what that essentially does in a Sterling, that's just one example. What happened to a person that owned hundreds of acres that want to subdivide it to sell it to local people? Oh, well, you can only develop a quarter of that. Then what happens? Naturally, they would have to increase the price of the lots that they are allowed to develop, as opposed to having more that they could have a reasonable price. So there are a lot of things at play here, and there's a lot of risk involved. And I agree wholeheartedly that we need to be careful on how we allow certain amendments that may compromise the integrity of the bill. I just think that we need to all get together, because the entities that run that is in the best interest, should be in the best interest of the people, and the government should also be in the best interest of the people. And I agree with the caller saying that the government shouldn't be exempted from that particular law. I don't think they should be either. I just think that they need to all come together and strike a balance, because it's going to be critically important to the well-being for the next 50 to 100 years on how we develop and who we developing for. Because if they're suggesting that we should all be condensedly develop in one area and live in, that is not conducive for quality of life, you know. And it's unfortunate that we haven't really sat down and debated this bill before it was pushed through, and look at all of these avenues in which now we are finding issues with. So again, the first initial article kind of scaremongered people into believing that government was doing something wrong, and the government in turn didn't do a good enough job of making the public aware with the necessary correct information so that people could formalize an educated opinion as opposed to an ignorant one. And that's exactly what took place, because that's not the first time I heard somebody use the term gut the policy. The other day on your show, someone used it. I heard it on OC show. I heard it all over. I see it on comments, and I'm like, man, everybody think the government gutting this bill because one news platform decided to sensationalize the headline, and it was wrong, and she should be held accountable for it, in my opinion. So they better pray Mario don't get in charge.
Something that you just shared that, you know, and I appreciate. Thank you for your time. You know, there's a standing invitation to you in a minute to share your perspective, but as you were sharing that, just generally, I wonder if we're asking the question, is there in this legislation and or any other policy, and primarily in legislation, that would give an entity or an individual sufficient power over cabinet, whether it's national security or otherwise, that their views, decisions can impact the elected government's ability to do or not do?
Right.
I wonder if this would be similarly in this legislation.
Well, but you see, in that... So that brings up a very important question, because then why are we electing officials?
Yeah, well, this is where we're looking at.
What's the reason? Yeah. So.
All right. Well, Ms. Susan reminds us, and I apologize to her publicly. We got to take the break. I know you have to.
Now, after the break, I'll just say sayonara, and then I'll leave.
All right.
All right.
Stay tuned.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Are you ready to step into the future? Digicell's superfast 5G network is here. Experience more lightning-fast speeds, more seamless connectivity, and more possibilities available with all Digicell bundles. Whether you're streaming, gaming, or working, our 5G technology takes your experience to a whole new level. The future is here. Visit any of our stores today and join Cayman's superfast 5G network. Digicell. Better connected.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Just in time for summer. It's the sizzling hot appliance sale at Brand Source Home Gallery. Save 25% off all appliances now until the end of June. That's 25% off on all appliances at Brand Source. Don't miss this opportunity to replace aging appliances and get 1 year plus warranty on new appliances. The sizzling hot appliance sale now until the end of June at Brand Source, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 for details.
Covering Little Cayman, Kim and Brad.
Cover me. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins. On Wednesday, June 26th, the Cayman Islands government will officially open its Asia office to establish and deepen strong public and private sector relations throughout the region. Deputy Premier and Minister for Financial Services and Commerce, the Honourable Andre M. Ebanks MP, the ministry's Chief Officer Dr. Dax Basteo, and Government's Deputy Representative for Financial Services to Europe, Julie Campbell, will travel this weekend to attend the commemorative reception at Swissôtel the Stamford in Singapore. In international news, the U.S. Federal Trade Commission has referred a complaint against TikTok and its Chinese parent company ByteDance over potential violations of children's privacy to the Department of Justice. The FTC says its own investigation uncovered reason to believe that the firms are violating or about to violate the law. In a statement to BBC News, a TikTok spokesperson said they were disappointed by the decision. A mysterious monolith has appeared in the Nevada desert over the weekend, sparking speculation as to what it may be and who is behind it. The structure was spotted by the Las Vegas Police Department, who said they saw it during a search and rescue mission north of the Las Vegas Valley. The monolith is similar to other similarly puzzling ones that appeared around the globe in 2020. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
The Spring Labor Force Survey and Quality of Life Survey conducted by the Economics and Statistics Office is currently underway. The Labor Force Survey seeks to collect data on employed and unemployed persons in the Cayman Islands, as well as those who are not in the labor force. The Quality of Life Survey seeks to gather information on life satisfaction, sense of well-being, financial security, economic outlook, and perceived health. Trained interviewers with ESO ID cards will visit randomly selected households. The interviews are confidential in accordance with the Statistics Act. No individual data will be published or disclosed. Survey data are exempt from Freedom of Information requests. For more details, please call the ESO hotline at 516-3329.
The Water Authority of Cayman wishes to advise its customers of a planned service interruption and traffic disruption on Edward Street and 4th Street on Sunday, 23rd of June, 2024. To facilitate infrastructure maintenance as part of the Georgetown Revitalization Initiative, there will be road closures at the intersection of Edward Street and 4th Street between the hours of 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. Traffic diversions will be in place, and motorists are encouraged to drive with caution when in the area. Customers on the following roads will experience temporary service interruption between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on 4th Street and Edward Street between 4th Street and Dr. Roy's Drive. Customers on the following roads may experience temporary service interruption between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. if it becomes necessary to expand the scope of works. On Albert Panton Street, Mary Street, and North Church Street between 4th Street and Mary Street. The Water Authority appreciates the patience and understanding of its customers and the public as it upgrades the water infrastructure and apologizes for any inconvenience caused.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks very much, for this afternoon, for joining us and sharing to Maya Rankin as we take this next call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling. Yeah, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello.
And to you, sir. How are you doing?
Sterling, just fine, thank you. I didn't realize I was on the line.
Okay.
Been here for quite a while. Afternoon to Mr. Mario.
Right.
Always good to hear him on there. Is he still there with you?
No, sir. He had an engagement and he was stretching it as close to 2 as he could. So we thank him for taking time. And we do apologize to you, as you said, you hold on for a bit. But thank you, too, for taking time to share with us.
I really wish so, because we never seem to have enough time to let me say what I have to say. But I try to condense it and concise it. We were talking early on about government workers and so forth, and the civil servants not being able, and that's quite right, okay, man. Or it's what exists. I can't say if it's right. I can't say that. But being able to speak their minds. In the British system, civil servants have unions. They have unions. We know that. So no use trying to debate that point. And all the other countries, even some of our overseas territories, do have labor unions. We don't have any here. We know that. It's no use trying to say we do, because we don't. There wasn't a time 50 years ago, even more recently, to have labor union. And we know who were involved in that 50 years ago also. Well-known Caymanians. I won't go into that. Another time for that. Miss Genevieve Borden. I didn't go to school there with her. I was going to school in Jamaica. But a lot of my older friends like myself went, and one of them said something to me years ago that she often used to say. When they asked her who was, this person coming in, a consultant. Well, who's a consultant? And she said, that's the guy from over yonder. You get my meaning when I say that? The guy from over yonder. That's all a consultant meant. Miss Genevieve. She's absolutely right. A lot of school children leaving, we're talking about jobs and so forth, and who could take them. And I'm glad my friend Mr. Clyde has called in, and also what Mr. Mario said in his closing comments about conservation and so forth. We have to realize that we have a small landmass, and there are certain things that must be done to upgrade our standard of living and to do and build and do certain things. And we will have to sacrifice some of the environment, which we did. We know that thousands of acres were cut down of mangroves in the 1970s and early 80s and up into the 90s. We know that. Let's not go into it, and we know who had them cut down too. So let's not try and go into that. Well, let's put that aside. And we have to come to some understanding that these things have to happen. See? If we need to build a road that's essential for the public, it has to be done. Get it done. Good. Get it done, because it's going to affect every aspect of our society. When children leave school, this is something I've always disagreed with. We try to make them believe that jobs in the financial service, I'm not saying people shouldn't go on to be lawyers, professional lawyers and so forth, and accountants, get your CPAs, etc., get law degrees and everything. But there are certain jobs that are there, many jobs that a high school student can handle, who graduated with good passes and so forth, mathematics and English and things like that. And they can handle it. It can be handled by high school students. I defy, and I will stand up and say that can happen. We just don't have the courage, or we neglected to tell them that it can happen. And we have to stand up and say these jobs can be given to these school leavers. With the real estate thing, I agree with them 100% what they were saying. I agree with them 100% what they were saying. We have to understand that this is and we have to limit things. And the government is doing something. You're speaking about tour operators and getting involved in the tourism sector. Early on, they were speaking there. I just like to say they are doing something about attracting young Caymanians into it. I try to do it daily, as I guess most people know my job. And to attract young people into it, and they are interested, and there are many aspects of the job. We don't have to. My problem with this whole thing is making it too complex when it doesn't need to be. I've said this with many things. It doesn't need to be so complex. The average person is not some university graduate, and that will never happen. It won't happen. It won't happen that way. People can get involved with these things, and they can carry on with the tourism world, and they can do the financial world. And we don't seem to realize how important the cruise business is to us. I won't try to belabor that point, right? But we know, and I've said it before, and I'm putting my neck out. So one thing I kind of disagree with Mario is, we're going to have to build a pier for the cruise ships. We don't have to think about mega ships or any ships. There are very large ships coming here right now, carrying up to 5,000 passengers and so forth. What we have to realize, and most people don't realize, that those numbers that we see, the 5,000, the 9,000 passengers, are the manifested quantity. That's not who disembark. Disembarkation ratio. The government must know, they must have an idea on that. It would astound you to realize what portion of that 5,000, 9,000 do actually disembark. Those are the people that are spending the money in the shops and on the tours and et cetera, and buying things. Know that. Believe me, that's how it really is. So we can let the people know that what the government collects a head tax on those who are on the vessel. So it doesn't affect the government's monetary, what they do get from it. The reimbursements or the taxes that they get, it's because they collect on the manifested quantity. I believe that's how it's done. If I'm wrong, I stand to be corrected. In other countries, they collect the head tax on who disembarks and who disembarks. But the point I'm making, if you just think about it, is that many are not coming off.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, I speak to many. And many are not coming off because they don't want to tender. We're getting older people. I've said it before on the radio, at risking my job. We're getting a lot of many older people now. I speak to them over the last 18, 19 years now, so I know what I'm saying. And they don't want to tender. They want to come off on a pier. We can build a pier. We can do it.
Where would you build that
We
pier?
can safely do it.
Yeah. Where would,
Pardon me?
in your mind, where would be the best place to build that
The
cruise?
best place would have been Red Bay. We all know that. And
Okay.
you've heard that great Caymanian captain, my cousin, that got tough for him, say it. We know that. It would have been Red Bay. In fact, even our very dock should be there, or cargo dock, because we've outgrown the way it is. And I disagree with us having that as a marine park, where all our shipping is and all that. I've never heard of that in any country in the world. Here, a main port is a marine park and so forth. Anyhow, we're going to have to expand on that dock. We're doing 40 times the cargo that we had, say, 40, 50 years ago. It's not feasible. It's not, it can't continue like that. But we can build it. We can build it. We can build one in West Bay, off the Iron Shore, that's out there at Norwest Point, or Ricksville, or Goat Rock, as you can call it. We can build it there. We can. It can be done, concrete off, and it wouldn't cost that very much. There's very little to do with dredging and so forth, and it wouldn't be usable in a nor'wester. But neither would the one in town be usable, and anywhere else we build it in heavy weather. But we can do it. It's not every day we have a nor'wester at all. It's not there we have very heavy weather. We are prone to that. We know we are in the hurricane belt and so forth, that is latitude. But it can be done. It can be done. It just has to be decisions. And I don't believe, another thing I'll say, and then I'll shut up. In us with a referendum thing, we have a referendum every 4 years. I wish it would be 5. I'm for that, moving it to a 5-year term. I've always said so. Many reasons, as long as we remain a crown colony. I hope we do. But we have that. The 19 elected members, they should, in this small society, know their people's wishes enough to know what they really want in any kind of a very important decision to be made. We have belabored this point for years and years and years. If we are not going to build a pier, we're going to have to see it just like you're talking about. These things are reserved for Cayman and so forth. A lot of people will have to go back to where they came from. Many stores will have to close up and so forth, because we're going to be losing out, as I'm sure the minister's gotten and eloquent and so forth, quite succinctly disclosed the situation with the cruise business. We have lost a lot of business, and we're going to continue to lose a lot of business. And tell the people the truth. If that's the decision, not about to build it, you're going to have to send a lot of people back home. A lot of businesses will fold up, and we can't keep saying everybody can work from home. You can't guide tourists or talk to tourists from home. It's got to be done out there. And you can't simply tell people in their 50s and 60s that you're going to have to learn a new profession, maybe something to do with computers or something. We know that's nonsense. Everybody could be involved in that. It can't happen, and it won't happen. So we're going to have to make that tough decision. Are we going to do that? Cut down the people. And another thing we must do is limit the amount of cars coming in and create a proper public transport system. Public. And remember, we are not a country that has any direct income tax. A lot of the funds here are cash. We have really no idea what our GDP is. It's just a good guess. There are hundreds of millions of dollars of things that are done by cash here that are not being reported. Are not being reported. So we're only making a good guess. And it's not even a very good one. With all the mathematicians and so forth, and I applaud them and the statistics office. It's just a guess of what it really is. I stand by that, and I refuse to move from that. Thank you very much.
And to you, sir. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. I think we have the final break, and then any calls that come in. Stay tuned.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet. Because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Cybercrime happens online or through the technology we use every day. Anyone can be a victim of cybercrime, whether you are a young person being bullied or harassed online, or an older person or business who's been scammed out of money or personal data. Cybercrime is an issue that touches all of us. The Cayman Islands government has therefore created an online resource to help keep you cyber safe in an ever-changing world.
In online situations, it is better to be cyber safe than sorry. Learn now to protect yourself against cybercrime. Visit gov.ky/cybersafe.
On Saturday, the 22nd day of June this year at 4 p.m., we're inviting everyone to march for Jesus from the Port Authority at the Creek and Cayman Brack to the Watering Place Gardens. Come out, one and all, stand up and testify for the goodness and mercies of the Lord Jesus Christ. He hath founded us upon the seas. Let it be known far and wide.
For more information, visit christian.ky or call 929-6657.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. And as we get to the almost 7 minutes away from the end of the program, possibly a final call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Sterling.
Hey, welcome back.
Sterling, you know, this is what do came on right now. Here we are trying to please people and not pleasing ourselves. I listen to Mr. Helson there, you know. He always has some good points, don't get me wrong. But about a building a dock here in Cayman, because then we want mega ships to come here that can carry 5,000 people at one time. Sterling, what do we have here to accommodate these people when they come off of those ships for 5 to 6 hours, if it's that long? What do we have different here? Are we doing any investment and investing in tourism to attract more visitors to this island? I don't think so. When last we had something, put together, a tourist attraction, no more than we just keep crying about, our beautiful 7 Mile Beach. And those that come and live in a private home or bed and breakfast, see where they got to walk through to get to the beach? A track road. But they're in a hotel on the 7 Mile or a condo, they can walk right out the door and go on to the 7 Mile Beach. You understand? So this thing about trying to bring in high-end visitors to this island, we should ask ourselves, where's the product? What do we have to offer these high-end visitors that we say we want here? And then again about building a pier. We will get cruise ship regardless if we have a pier or not. They will not be all big cruise ships from now until God comes to his world. There will always be some small cruise ships. And about visitors doesn't want to be tender in. They prefer to come in at a pier. A lot of places that these visitors go, they have to use a pier and a boat, the tenders to get to the dock to come off. And I'm quite sure Cayman is not the only place that has it. So we got to put this thing behind us about trying to please everybody, because that is why we are where we are today, with all these investors coming here and doing as they please, planning together. You know what? Immigration don't care who's coming in, who's going out. They got a fingerprint machine sitting down and catching dust for the last God knows how many years, and they refuse to bring it out. They are not trying to protect the people that is on this island. And we just keep opening the doors and bringing people in here, and we don't even know what kind of backgrounds that they have. They can go and get any fake police record and bring to this island and fake. You can go to the computer of Sterling today and print out just about everything that you want and present it. And this little island believe in everything that someone come to tell them. But the few Caymanians that are left, we got to show all kind of ID, who we are and where we coming from. And who was your grandma and your grandpa 175 years ago? You understand? So, Sterling, I think I guess myself too overworked up, but I have to do it because this is my country. And this is where I was raised up with no electricity. I beat the mosquitoes. No electricity, no running water, no inside facilities. And now at this age, this is what I am so seeing and being treated as we are nobody in this island. But we got to blame every politician from way back up until today. And I just want to say to my Caymanians, y'all be careful. how I ask for next year when it comes to voting, because they can't offer us nothing when they get in. They're not even saying if I get in. When I get in, this is what I'm going to do, because they can't give me back no beach. They can't help you get a house. They can't give you a piece of property. So if that's what we need, and the cost of living ain't going nowhere. So if you all want to go and keep voting, thinking they see if they can give us something, they can't give us one earthly thing no more. It is already destroyed and gone down the road.
All right. Well, as you shared it, hopefully people would listen. Thanks very much for that, and have a great weekend. All right.
You too. Bye. Bye.
Take care. Bye. All right. I think one more call, Miss Susan. Final call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, Dwayne, sorry to call back the second time.
Not at all.
What we need to ask the government to do if they want help Caymanians in the tourism industry, approach the cruise line and tell them that we do not need business just November, December, January, February, March. We need business in June, July, August, September, and our ports are no different during those times than it is when it's winter. So the same cruise line, we used to get cruise ships all year round, and the port hasn't changed a bit. So if the government want to do something to help the people, lobby the cruise line to make more ships come in here during the slow season, because we need to eat during slow season too. We didn't make enough during the busy season to get proper food, because we had someone built backed up. So please tell them to work at that if they want them to help that part of the conservation. Love to work at that for us, please. Thank you.
As she shares, maybe having a business all year round instead of just, as she talks about, in the high season. Maybe that's a conversation that can be had with the FCCA. Well, thank you all very much for joining us today. We invite you to come back Monday, start your day off and your week with Mr. Art as he brings you for the record, and then come back for Talk Today. We'll have our monthly Mental Health Matters show on Monday. 1:30, former parliamentarian Mr. Ezra Miller will come in and we'll talk about a number of things, including some things he has coming up in his district for his church, plus some political discussion with social implications. That is Monday. Between now and then, I invite you to always be prayerful and purposeful, be absolutely safe and cautious on our roads, cognizant of other users, very, very careful that as you go in about your, business, that you will be, very, very safe. The rains coming down, look at it as blessings from on high, but be very, very mindful that the roads may not only be slippery when wet, but may provide, other sort of impediments that you don't understand. The standing water there could cause you to create, much hazard. Well, together we can make it happen, and together if we stand firmly committed to a Cayman that is civil, one that provides opportunity not just economically but social prosperity, will be beneficial for us now and for generations to come. Until Monday, my friends, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.